Hello, this is Pharaoh Vincent with Nation 473. Wanted to give you guys an update. I had a theory recently about the effectiveness of the T11 stormtroopers for mid-range cities, and I don't see a lot of C-35 mid-rangers using it, which is baffling to me. Ran into a few in the mines over the last couple of weeks, and for the most part, it's very rare to see somebody using these troops. So I wanted to kind of show a little bit of its efficacy, how it's doing, right? So we're going to just jump straight into some uranium mine reports. So this morning, we took a couple fights, and I got beat on stats primarily for this particular one. This individual has 800% LRA. It's got good percentages. You can see here that I'm at 715 MRA, and again, decent percentages. My increased damage to long-range troops is pretty high, but it was an even fight as far as power is concerned, so that means they have a little bit stronger of Titans to make up the troop difference. We're both sending T11 fleets. The stormtroopers performed admirably, kind of, but it looks worse on the report than it actually is. So the reason why the T11 stormtroopers are important is on the second shot right now, it will shoot 3 little balls of lightning, right? So again, first shot, second shot. And on this particular one, it's hitting 3 troops, or 2 of the troops that don't have that many individuals right off the bat. The other thing that ends up happening is they step forward right there, and the T11 cannons lock onto them before the zombies, which means that they get annihilated. And that's why they don't show as good, because the rockets were just alive significantly longer to make up some of the difference. But when you start seeing it in its heyday, right? When you start seeing it against, this is a significantly weaker opponent, it just deletes. Although, where's your melee? It deletes people. And I think the best way to show this is actually from some hits on cities. And the reason being is, we have this hit right here. This guy doesn't have that many troops. Of course, he's complaining about it in Nation Chat, but it's fine. He'll get over it. But you'll see here that I stole all the kills. All of them. Poor Legab here barely broke even. Right? And a bunch of people generally just didn't have the best time trying to catch up. And the reason being is kind of what I said, right? It's that second shot. So again, shot 1, shot 2, deleted the entire back row. Right? Second shot. So in a 12-second fight, you can see where it really goes. And this is an SOS I did just to play around with it so we could see it without other people. And you can see, right? Second shot, boom, back row's gone. And that's what they do, right? The spread shot on the T11 stormtrooper is actually very good. Also, as the fight winds down in like a 1v1 setting in the mines, you're going to start to see a little bit of Titan assassinations, right? So it's going to hit all of the back row, right? So now we've lowered the numbers. We're going to hit the back row again here in a second, right? Deleted back row. I don't think we're going to get a second shot off to show this off. That's fine though. You maybe? No, that was the one we just looked at. Sorry, we're going to find a good one. But as the troop numbers wind down, the T11s will start to assassinate. Actually, this is a good report for that. Titans. So the female Titan here, watch the orb pass through and drop that down by about half. So now that Titan's about to die, and there's the second shot, and now you're without a Titan. So when you don't have enough back row troops, it will target zombies, back row, and Titan. And when that happens, right, you're going to start seeing, as a mid-range city, the thing that you are the most concerned with is your Titans dying before the enemy Titan. Well, this troop is basically annihilating or eliminating that delta. So, pretty cool stuff. I just wanted to show that interaction. I am pairing them with rockets because of the same logic. So rockets also shoot on 2, right? So here's my rocket. It's also going to shoot on 2, and it hit, you know, the snipers. So between the two, when they all lock on to, like, let's say a bigger target, you can start to really lower the number of enemy troops hitting you right off the bat. And the rockets will just sit there and assassinate throughout the fight because they hit one target. So you have the T11 stormtroopers to basically AoE clear, or area of effect, right? AoE clear. And then you have the rockets doing single target chip damage. And then something to always factor in with that is Zeus's breakthrough skill, which we do now have. And so this is now going off once every 8 seconds, also assassinating that individual troop. When I get this flowing even more, I think what's going to end up happening is I will probably get like a very heavy T11 stormtrooper count. I don't know that I will ever exclusively use them. I might, though, just because that plus Zeus will most likely make up the difference. Plus the Titan assassination attempts, I think would be nice if I could one-shot Titans with them in some of these fights. So anyways, just some stuff to think about, right? Like when we're talking about fleets in this game and we're talking about units people don't use enough of, it's always best to use your workshop units if you have one available. And I know that might seem weird, but there's a reason behind that. As a T11 unit, this is 12.8 power, battle power per unit, right? 12.8. If you compare that to a T11 that comes from either the workshop or the camp, this is 11.6, right? So you're looking at a 1.2 increase. And when you compare it to, you know, for me, the premier long range or mid range troop is the T12 rocket. That's 13.9. It's 1.3 difference. So, I mean, yes, the rockets are an improvement, but they're not as big of an improvement because of that half tier increase. And we can do this, by the way, with any troop. So I think my favorite example of this comes down to, and we'll compare the bikes because it's more of an, or no, sorry, the shredders because it's more of an even comparison, but T12 shredders are 139 power. This is for 10 units, so 13.9, but 139, right? The T12 EMP cannons for long range users are 152. So that right there is a almost 20-point increase, right? That adds up. And the base number of that is, you know, 12 something, right? So it's 13.9 versus 15.9. Or sorry, 15.29, I guess. That's why C-38s are so devastating, is this unit has a lot more. And in the eventual part where we get to T-13 troops, stormtroopers are going to be there. And if Camel continues this trend where this is a lot higher, right, at 15, being almost 2 above in this case, right? That's a bigger delta than even the other one that we just went through, right? Like that increased exponentially. And if they do that again for the T13s, mid-range cities are going to decimate people. So, spoiler alert, we're going to have to get used to this at some point or another. That's really the main crux of today's video, right? We did a bunch of upgrades very recently. So we got the level 6 reactor. We upgraded my camp. I dropped all of my recruitment speeds for the last 7 months into T11 stormtroopers. So I recruited, I think it's like what? So far 109,000 of them in just the last couple of days. So yeah, cheers. And that's really the big crux of what we've done, right? Where we're going next, we're going to be dropping into the garage. We're going to get our fleet size up. And I think that's going to help really push me to the next level. Because more troops is always better. And, you know, my garage is a little low. I need it 35 just so that I can get to C36 at some point. Although it's going to be a while before I get C36 because I have some recruitment buildings to level right after that. So most likely you're going to see this camp come up to C35. I'll probably leave this one at C33 just so that I can keep recruiting T11s. But I'll get the other one ready for the C36 switch because there's not really much of a point to go to C36 until I can get the camp too. And I know that might, like, I want to talk through that sentence in like a real talk scenario. I plan on holding off my C36 upgrade until I have enough uranium to both get C36 and the camp. And the reason being is if you don't have a reason to go up a tier, right? And in this case, uranium is my main blocker, right? If I don't have a reason to go up a tier, you actually hurt yourself in the long run by going up. Every time you go up a tier, your overall strength analysis goes down a little bit, right? This number gets bigger the higher up you go. And the reason why that's important is that number helps to balance things like Medici every week. So you'll have a harder time getting further into Medici. Yes, you get more points, but you'll have a harder time getting to the lower floors, getting that extra uranium. So going up a tier just because you want to see the higher number isn't really beneficial. What is beneficial is going up a tier when you're ready for that next upgrade. So in this case, I'm going to get set up to where I can go C36 and then immediately upgrade my camp so that I can start getting the T12 rockets. So anyways, just some theory, some talks about mid-range cities, upgrades, what we're doing, how those interactions are working. If you guys like this kind of content, please, of course, subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. And if you like this video, just leave a like and comment down below if you have any questions. Thank you guys for your time. Have a good rest of your day.